Welcome to my podcast, Chat with Loki. It's about sharing stories of grit, resilience, wisdom from unseen, unheard, everyday heroes of life. Hi, Alicia. Welcome to Chat with Loki. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here and having a chat with you guys today. And yeah, let's go.
That's great. So before we have a chat, can you please tell who you are and how do you identify to our audience?
Okay, so I'm Alicia Glen, and how do I identify for the audience? I would call myself a bit of a psychic alchemist. So, I coined that. Yeah,
Guys.
mic drop.
We have an alchemist here.
We do, all the juice, all the magic, all the woo, but we make everything grounded and practical and transformational. So I coined that term because I didn't so much identify with just being a psychic or just being a transformational coach. And I wanted to alchemize all the modalities and everything I've learned. And so that's where that term came from. So, yeah, I can expand if you like, but...
I'm sure we'll go into that.
Beautiful.
So, a psychic and an alchemist. Mm-hmm. And it's some sort of transformation.
That's it.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. All right, audience, get ready for the ride.
Join us, come along for the ride.
Yeah. Anyone says alchemist, okay, there'll be some, juicy stuff coming. Tell me a little bit about, where you're born. Parents, siblings, just, how did you become existent?
How did I think my soul chose to be human at some point. I don't know why I'm still questioning that one. Why did I come here? But I was born in Sydney, so born and raised here, and I come from a really small family, so I've only got one sibling. We're very, very close. He's 3 years younger than me. We talk about philosophy all the time and acting and art and what it means to be alive, what it means to be human, what it means to live a purposeful and meaningful life. So we have a very beautiful bond, so I'm really grateful for that. My parents divorced at the age of when I was 12. So went through a little bit of, stuff. A lot of children are from divorce these days, so that's not rare. But it was a very interesting journey. I was an ex-gymnast, so very competitive gymnast, and went through a lot of mental, emotional, physical stress and trauma from that. It is one of the most beautiful sports there is. I learned discipline, resiliency, getting back up, and making something really beautiful as art. I find gymnastics is very artful, but it came with a lot of pain and a lot of tough stuff. And that was what kind of set precedent for my journey up until this point. So I ended up doing after that acrobatics, cheerleading, dancing. I was
It looks like there's a big list.
Lot. Yeah.
So let's just come back to your brother. Younger or older?
3 years younger.
3 years younger.
Yeah.
Did I hear this right? You talk about philosophy.
Yes, we do. I don't claim to know everything, but we ponder and contemplate a lot about Alan Watts and Ram Dass and all of these beautiful people that share their own interpretation, of why we're here and what all this is for. And we tend to question death a lot as well. I want to drop that in very quickly. Sorry about just going there.
Yeah, sorry.
For our listeners.
I was waiting for the last 30 minutes for that. Okay, it's okay.
Sorry, if anyone's ever met me personally, they will know that I drop that in as one of our greatest gifts, I feel, is to contemplate life and death, because it's what informs a lot of my decisions and how I live every day. Not in a cliche way, of course, live every day to the fullest, but more like, if we were to die tomorrow, who do you need to call? Who do you need to say I love you to? What conversations need to be had? And how can I live with my most open-hearted self? Yeah.
Why do you think you and your brother are interested in, talking philosophy? Because that doesn't happen between siblings that often.
You're so right. And thank you so much for going here. No one's ever asked about my connection with my brother, and I'm so grateful. It almost makes me want to cry, if I'm honest, because on a spiritual level, on a soul level, I believe that our souls karmically chose to be siblings.
Yeah.
So I do feel like there is an unspoken bond between the both of us. We actually live together right now as well.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we're that close. And it's really interesting because we do not come really from parents who were super in this world or who question stuff like that. What has brought us together in this way? I'm almost trying to think back to my journey.
Was he curious and asking you, or you both were curious?
I think we've both been through our own mental health journeys.
Okay, yeah.
And for me, that started with an eating disorder, being diagnosed with one like 9 years ago or so. And I don't identify with having one anymore. That's a story within itself. But I started my spiritual awakening journey. And then he started to wake up as well. And he had a very Eastern approach, an Eastern philosophical approach.
So that's where the Ramdas comes.
That's where the Ramdas, the Alan Watts, all of that came from. And I don't know where I came from. I don't know what angle I came from, but it was different. It was a bit more spiritual, like universe, numbers, science, stuff like that.
But both were seeking some meaning, answers, why the world works the way it works.
Yep.
And do you think there is some element or major element of your parents' separation? Because if it happened when you're 12 years old and your brother is 9, you started asking questions from then.
Yeah, we probably did. I'd say unconsciously.
Unconsciously, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say there was an activation around that. I know in my mum's ancestral line, there was a lot of experimentation with mediumship and psychic work.
Okay.
I never, though, understood, I never got passed down any of that knowledge and wisdom. And on my dad's side, his mum actually was very esoteric, believed she was immortal, was into health food, healing herself naturally, crystals, all of that. But it kind of got shut down and she passed at a very early age. And so there was a lot of death I actually feel now that I really think back to it. When my brother and I were very young, my dad lost his mum and his sister. Wow. So I actually think we were exposed to grief unconsciously at a very young age.
And you were trying to understand why these things are happening.
I believe that, on an unconscious level. And it takes our own often breakdown and rock bottom to kind of wake us up to our own journey and then to kind of seek those answers consciously.
Yep. So after separation, you and your brother, did you pick sides?
Oh, what a
Mother
juicy
or father?
Question. Did we pick sides? No, it was very equal. They did it very well. I must admit, props to my mum and dad, who will probably watch this. So I love you, mum and dad.
Hi, Mum.
And my brother. Hi, guys. Just downloading all your information about your marriage. But they did a very good
Christmas.
job. Just before Christmas. Merry Christmas. Here's your gift.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. They did really well to hide or cover or do things behind the scenes without involving us. I really owe it to them to not exposing us to a lot of the front trauma that you would maybe see some families go through. And there was a lot there around, there was some betrayal involved and all of that. So I think my brother and I have come out with some trust stuff, some trust issues that we work through, but it's all part of it, the journey. Yeah.
So before that breakup, if you had to pick one joyful moment with your mother, what was it?
With my mum, she was my greatest cheerleader and still is with my sport, with my gymnastics. So getting me ready and doing all the competitions and doing our hair and, being part of that. It was her life too. Yeah. And they were some very, very joyful moments, just always knowing that she was there to support me. Yeah.
So this is more you as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid,
How about your father?
My dad. It's interesting. My dad would give us tickle torches on the trampoline. That's just popped into my mind.
Okay.
He was beautiful at picking all those really small moments. As a child, he went through so much grief. As when we were children, and he was our dad at that young age. He went through so much grief that he had a lot of migraines, and he worked long hours. And so we didn't see him as much as we would have liked to. So we would go up to his room and play card games, or he'd come out to the trampoline and give us tickle torches and, stuff like that. Those little moments that you cherish. And so lots of joy.
And with your brother?
Favorite moment so far or back then?
Back then.
Back then.
We're still at 12 years old.
Sometimes I still feel 12. So
that never dies.
That never dies. The inner child is still very much alive in all of us. Favorite memory with him. You know what it is? We have a lot of family videos, so a lot of my memories are rehashed from that. And it's so funny because I was always on camera as a kid, I was always performing and loved that, microphones, everything. And he'd just always be there in the video. And they were some of my favourite moments because I look back and go, I'm taking up so much space. Yeah. And he's just this quiet little dude in the background, but he's still very much there and still gets involved. And so there was a lot of beautiful moments where we were being actually very creative together and just playing as kids. And I don't know, he was just always there, always there.
So gymnastics. Is it something came into your head, or was it influenced by someone? How did you end up taking that?
I never remember saying I wanted to be a gymnast. Ever.
Okay.
So my mum saw talent in me when I popped out of the womb. I was doing roly-polies and she'd flip me upside down when I'm one on the couch. There's video footage of this. And I think I just had a natural talent. I'd always walk on my tippy toes. I went into dancing first, actually, as a very, very small kid. But I just, for some reason, always wanted to be upside down. And so mum put me in my local gymnastics club and I was winning all the competitions at 5. So she said, let's go to the best in New South Wales, naturally. And so she put me there, and I remember being 6 and being into walking into the club, and I was being assessed, and I immediately went into squad gymnastics, which is competitive levels. Wow. At the age of 6 and 7.
Wow, that's so early.
It is very early. My career lasted to the age of 12 and I retired, is what I say. I retired from the sport at 12.
It almost seems like a swimming...
very similar.
Swimming career.
Very, yeah. Even the coaching
By
style.
21, 22, you're gone.
Gymnastics is earlier, unless you go to the Olympics.
Okay.
So that was a potential path for me. Yeah. But I chose not to because I didn't want to be homeschooled. So
you went into squad gymnastics at the age of 6?
Yep.
And then you lasted 6 years or
Correct.
6 years?
Yeah, about 6 years, 6, 7, yeah.
Okay. What do you need to do? Because all I know is from swimming, it's one of the toughest and hardest if you're training on a competitive level. So what is it for a gymnast as a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old? What does a day look like?
It feels like military style training. It's often been compared to that. And my coach was very stuck in the Romanian, Russian way of training their young girls. And that is very full on. Yeah. Borderline abuse, and I will say that with absolute mindfulness around that word, because I think it gets thrown out a lot and thrown around. But there's obviously been a lot of, for example, Netflix shows and lots of things coming out now about the coaching standards and how they need to change, because when you're so young, you essentially are very vulnerable to physical, mental, emotional abuse. So a day in the life, I was training 5 days a week. Okay. From that kind of age of 7 to 12. Yeah. And every school holidays, most kids would be going and having fun. And look, I definitely did after training, but you'd have to do holiday clinics. It was very competitive. A lot of my upbringing was no pain, no gain. Vulnerability is a weakness. My body was breaking down. I was seeing a chiropractor at the age of 8. Constantly in chiropractors, MRI machines, CT scans, physios. I did go through a lot as a gymnast.
This is before 12.
Correct. Oh God, yeah. I lived a whole life. And I was doing, all the extracurricular activities at school. Like I was involved in everything you could think, dance as well and stuff like that. But that was my main priority and I did very well. Yeah. I got accepted to go to the AIS, Australian Institute of Sport.
Okay.
I got scouted at a competition in Queensland, and that's when I decided, no, I don't want to pursue this as a career path because it was so intense.
After going through 5-6 intense years of training, you get selected. That's the outcome for your hard work, training, and pain. Yeah,
pain being underline, highlight, bold.
Okay. And you made the decision or someone else influenced you to make the decision?
Quitting gymnastics was one of the...
I won't go with the word quitting.
Okay. Retiring?
Yeah. Early retirement.
Early retirement. I love it. Thank you for pulling me up on my own words. I decided into early retirement. Yep.
At the age of 12?
At the age of 12. I made an executive decision about my life.
Yeah.
I give up. Look, it brings a lot of... I've heard people cry on your podcast and it's probably going to happen to me, so excuse me. But it was one of the hardest decisions ever because it did take up so much of my life and I was very good at it. I had a lot of potential. My coach said, you could be the next Olympian, all of these things. But I didn't find joy in it anymore and I didn't want to do it. There was so many things I wanted to do. So I decided to quit and I remember I was petrified of my coach. Everyone in Australia is petrified of this coach. Oh, okay. Even when we go to competitions, the judges were afraid of this coach. So you'd imagine a little girl super terrified to quit and say, I don't want to do this thing anymore. So I remember getting my dad to go and say, Alicia is retiring. And my coach actually came back to my house. My dad let him in my home and he sat me on his lap. My coach sat me on his lap and he said, now, why do you want to quit? And I had to give a full reason as a 12-year-old to quit. And I was petrified of this guy and he's in my home and I felt quite unsafe in that way. And he goes, no, we're going to get you back in the gym. You've got all this potential. So I ended up not quitting, not retiring. Yeah. And I was forced back in. And 2 weeks later, it was the awards night. I remember being in the car park telling my mum and I said, I genuinely can't do this anymore. Yeah. And my mum broke down. She didn't want me to quit because it was her whole life as well. Yeah. So, it brought up a lot of stuff. And at that exact moment, I really remember that's when my parents were also going through a divorce too. So there was a lot of retiring of roles happening.
Do you remember is it a weekend or a weekday when your coach came to your house?
I don't remember. All I remember is my dad.
Morning, evening?
I think it could have been a Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So what do you think was going through in your head at that moment when you said, okay, I'm out of it, and then someone is trying to convince the other way?
I tried to lie as much as I could.
To yourself or to
both?
To both.
Both. I tried to convince myself, one, that I can do this and I've got resiliency and I've gotten through this so far, right? The other was, I remember my coach saying, well, what else do you want to do? Like, what else? Surely, like, if you're not going to do this. And I said, I want to do tennis. Yeah. That's hilarious. I've never played tennis in my life. I didn't want to do it. Yeah. But I was trying every which way to get out of my current. But he was such a big male, at that age. Yeah.
So the conversation was between you, your coach, and your dad.
And my mum was
there.
And
your mum was there too.
Fairly sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My brother upstairs hiding.
Okay. Yeah. Good spot.
Good spot. Always there. Just a different room.
Yeah. Different room.
Yeah.
So you took the courage to lie. I'm going to use the word. You took the courage to lie because of the age you're at.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're finding a way out without hurting anyone, without offending anyone. Yeah. That's a natural thing to do at that age. And 2 weeks later, what happened in that car with your mom?
It was after the awards night, and we were walking in the car park and like back to the car, I'm pretty sure. And I just literally couldn't do it. I just think something just snapped in me. I just can't do it. But I was worried about hurting my mum.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the reasons why I stayed and did what I did was because I didn't want to hurt the very people that drove me 5 days a week
yeah.
to see me excel. And, you know, it's that whole thing of like, why give up when you're so good at something?
True.
And I had this expectation that I needed to uphold and these very high perfectionist standards that I felt I had to live up to. And I think I just snapped one day in my own way. And so I felt like just a moment, a blip in the universe. And it just changed everything. And I actually don't know how I ended up quitting. I don't know if my mum did it. I can't remember.
So did your mum after that realized, okay, this is serious?
Yes, she did. But then I went straight into level 9 acrobatics. So nothing changed.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the highest you could go and I'd never done acrobatics before.
Yeah.
So it kind of didn't click that my body needed a break. But at the time, you think she's a child, like she's resilient. And my mum and dad, bless them, they actually had no idea what was going on inside of that gym.
Of course, yeah.
So I never placed blame or anything like that because my coach was very good at hiding what was happening. And so, or convincing us it was normal, part of the process as a competitive gymnast to go through such pain and things like that. So I don't think my mum necessarily realised the extent to which I needed a break because I still had a lot of capability and potential. So I kept going. Yeah.
And also probably at that time, your mom and dad, they're going through their own personal...
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they couldn't really understand 100% or they couldn't give focus.
No, absolutely. They really tried. They did the best they could. I don't think we ever got pulled out of sport.
Yeah.
Like, again, they did very well to maintain keeping us out of it, the kids out of it. They did a great job with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So after that, you continued with the education?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also all through school.
Yeah.
High school.
Yeah.
Got bullied, had to move schools. There was a lot there that happened because of the colour of my hair, red. That just adds to my story a little bit, the uniqueness of who we are as individuals and embracing, those breakdown moments and how they lead to transformation.
I think it's in fashion now.
It is apparently.
Yeah.
It is. Apparently everyone wants red hair these days.
Yeah.
I just did dye mine the other day, but it'll go back to my natural in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But,
so I think I've done this research a long time ago.
Okay.
Natural red hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's 0.001% or something.
No.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. So you're unique.
I feel very unique.
Yeah.
Thank you to your research for validating my uniqueness.
So that's why these days everyone's going into the shades of red.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I'm grateful. I've only done this because it just looked a bit dull for a second. I was like, need a little bit of a zhuzh,
So you got bullied for hair.
Yeah, of all things. I had the courage to go to a school that was different to everyone else. So most of my friends went to Engadine High and I went to Heathcote. And it was I was like, I'm going to go somewhere different. I'm going to make new friends. Like, it really speaks to my personality as Alicia and who my archetype is in this lifetime. To be just bold and do something different. And it did not work.
Wow.
I got slapped, basically, by the universe, it felt. Yeah.
Did you share what you were going through at school with your parents, or you just, took it?
Yeah, in the bullying context?
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things where kids are in the position that if you involve your parents will get involved and it makes the bullying worse.
Yes.
So I told them to an extent what was happening, but it wasn't to the extent that until later that year kids were starting to make up rumours around suicide and that I was going to do that, and that is not within my... I've never experienced anything like that. So it was very toxic at that point, and it went from red hair all the way to... I don't even know how they got there, like these kids.
It's gossip, bullying and rumours.
That's it.
Or bushfires.
they really are. And I have compassion for where these kids came from because they're projecting their own trauma and their own pain. But you don't know that as a year 7 child starting at a new school in, you know, in your prime development social years.
Yeah.
So I did end up letting them know that this needs to change, because I used to go to sit in, you know, the learning blocks by myself at lunch eventually, and I just wanted to hide away, and I never wanted to catch the bus because I'd get bullied as soon as I walked on, and my shine just dulled in that moment. But then I went to Engadine High and everything changed.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
Geez, from 5 years old.
Yep, I've lived many lives.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the high, so you're in teens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And after that episode, what did you do next?
What was life? Life ended up going from acro to cheerleading, American style competitive cheerleading.
Oh, wow. Here, okay.
In Australia.
Wow.
When it was very small as a sport. So now there's actually all-stars, there's very big events for cheer here. It wasn't back then in 2007-8.
Yeah.
And I was the flyer, so I used to get chucked in the air and...
you're...
Oh, yeah, I was...
You're the one. Okay.
I was the one. I'm the chosen one.
You're the chosen one, okay.
I'm the unique one with my hair.
Yeah.
So I was thrown in the air. That was super fun. Cheerleading was amazing. And then I also started as a cheerleader in the NRL as well. So I was a junior cheerleader for St. George Dragons, Illawarra.
The white and red.
The white, red and white blood.
Red and white.
Yes,
Okay. So you still follow?
Of course. Yeah. I think the team's gotten progressively worse, but since I followed them back in the
Let's
day.
Not go into
let's
the
not
scores.
go into there. Let's just park that for a second.
Yep. I think 10 years ago, they were really good.
Really amazing. Yeah. So I started in junior flames and eventually led my way up to a senior flame, which was the senior squad.
Okay.
So
how was that experience?
That was amazing. I loved it. As a junior, it was just so fun dancing on a field, you know. I've always performed in stadiums though, because being a gymnast, acrobat, cheerleader, you're in front of thousands of people at competitions. So to be on a field was kind of an extension of that. And to be on the big screen, it was super fun. I loved it. Yeah.
So when you look back of the gymnast and all that, painful experience to the NRL experience.
Yeah.
For overseas people, NRL is a rugby league.
National Rugby League.
National Rugby League. People, in Australia, they go mental for
big.
their teams. So when you compare those two, how do you reflect?
I mean, they're entirely different experiences. One's a lot more aesthetically focused. So being a senior cheerleader, for example, it is about your looks and your beauty. And I did never feel quite good enough being bullied for my looks. It was kind of something I'd struggled with, right? But I didn't let that stop me. I think my resiliency has gotten me through a lot of not letting that stop me. But there wasn't a lot of, it was dancing. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But my comparison to gymnastics as an art form, there's just so much that goes into that. So they're entirely almost uncomparable, if that's a word, incomparable. Yeah.
Would you call this cheerleading experience as liberation compared to what you have gone through?
You know, I would love to say yes, but I was still trapped inside the mind of someone who didn't quite feel enough.
Okay.
If you had asked me to become a cheerleader now, as I am as 30, I would say I would feel so liberated.
Yeah, right.
But because I've done a lot of healing to heal my, body image stuff and my perception of self and around beauty standards and things like that. So no, I don't feel like I was really in the experience. I actually felt quite dissociated, not in my body. At that time. So if I could relive it, I would love to, because I love movement and expression and dance. I think it's beautiful for for our experience. So, yeah.
You have thrown one of the most controversial words in this present world.
Which is?
Beauty standards or body standards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's go there.
I don't know how young people, especially teenagers, preteens, are going through with the peer pressure, the social media, And then the consumerism from celebrities using emotion to sell their products. What do you think of that impact on preteens? And on your personal, let's say, transformational journey, what advice would you give them if they are listening? Because I know it's hard for them to listen to anything.
Longer than 60 seconds? Or longer than 2 seconds, I think it takes.
That's why we have reels, call something shorts, less than 60 seconds. We'll try to get the message
We're going to reel you in to the magic.
Yeah.
Look, you are, talking to a huge topic that is and has been going on for a very long time. I think with social media, it has boosted the issue or made it bigger or made it more available for us to see the real issues and the real impact. I obviously come from a background when I was young without social media. So my direct experience of that was through more my coaching and the people around me as my mentors at the time, through fitness and dance and all of that. So I'm having a different experience than the teens that are coming up now, but just me as a 30-year-old even using social media and scrolling through going, I don't look like that. I don't look like that. Yeah. Even AI, there's like new, models that are AI models, for example. So you don't know what's real and what's not. And I think this is difficult because I feel at a young age, we even come into an education system or just a society in general where we're not taught to embrace our uniqueness.
Yeah.
And what makes us beautiful, not only on the outside, but on the inside. So inside out beauty. I feel like we need more attention on that. I also feel that it has direct relationship with parents though, and how they.
I was just about to ask that. Anyway.
That's my psychic stuff coming through.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of your question before you ask it. So.
All right, guys, I'm going to keep quiet.
In real time. I'll just interview myself through my guides, letting me know.
She can read me.
I love it so much. So our parents' relationships with their bodies and their uniqueness and their beauty, as young kids, think of it like we're sponges. We are mirroring, we're seeing all the things that our parents do. And it's not to say our parents need to be perfect. Yeah. But I feel like our parents have a responsibility to look after themselves, to nurture themselves, to feel worthy and whole within themselves and beautiful within themselves. So many mothers hide behind, they don't want to get in a camera shot because they don't feel beautiful. They feel fat. They feel ugly. Yeah. If a child's watching that, they're going to mirror that and learn that they're not enough, that they're not beautiful as they are. And so a big piece of advice is actually to parents, if any parents are watching, because I've done a lot of preteen self-love and dance workshops. It's been a big part of my work in the past. And it's really unfortunate where they're learning this stuff from. So it's not just social media, but it is within the home. They see mum doesn't feel good about herself, and so they're kind of learning this is normal. And so
it's like the apple falling from the tree and looking at the tree.
That's exactly what it is. That's it. And again, it's not for people to be perfect. Parents are going to screw up, mess up, make mistakes. But it's, if we're speaking directly to beauty, I know for me, that's why I've done so much transformational healing around what it means to be beautiful, unique, and to own my differences. And that's what makes me awesome as a human being, not because I am better than anybody or less than. I am me, I am different, and that is enough. And so I want to be able to have and hold this energy within myself so that in the future, when I hopefully do have children, they're going to see mirrored to them somebody who's whole, worthy, unique and beautiful, and they know that to be true, so they can mirror that and match that in a positive way.
So basically what you're saying is to address the issue, both parents and the kid have to work together.
I think so.
And a lot of times they don't listen, but they're actually watching everything we do.
They are. And again, that's a lot of pressure for parents. So a lot of my demographic of women I work with are parents. I don't know how, I'm not a mum yet, but I seem to, that is my demographic I work with mainly. And they've learned it from their parents and then their parents. So no one's to blame. No one's at fault.
So it's a generational thing coming through?
Absolutely.
Why do you think that it's more on females? A lot of times men don't care about how they look, and half the time they should care about at least how they smell.
Yeah. You are not wrong about that.
Sorry, man.
Dude, you've just been to the gym, like some deodorant wouldn't go astray, you know?
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, just came out as flow.
Totally. It's so, I love that. I do think though that I don't know statistically how this is, but I do know a lot of men do suffer with body image disorder, but it's more they want to be jacked and big and muscular.
Yeah.
So
6 packs, the usual.
on the men's health magazines, it's all of these 6-pack, like you just said. And so women, you know, obviously this is the female type of body has changed over the years about what has been deemed attractive and things like that. But I think for centuries, women have been told, you know, be more of this, be less of that, be more of this, be less of that. And it's so confusing to be a woman, if I'm honest, because if we're embracing anger, we're seen as a bitch. Or, you know, there's so many, I don't know, contradictions.
Ironic.
Exactly. And it's confusing. Or it's if you reveal too much of your body, you're you're a slut, right? I don't know how much I can go with this podcast. I'm so sorry. I don't know how.
I don't know.
Are you filtered? Are you not filtered?
No, not filtered.
Okay.
Only thing is I don't know. I don't want to be banned.
Trust me, to like accidentally get something banned, I apologize.
Because there is this community guidelines in some of the platforms.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah.
Does it matter if I apologize to YouTube?
No, we'll put something saying we apologize in advance.
We apologize in advance. But that's actually a very classic example, though, of how I'm using about women, even, for example, swearing. Using it's classed as unclassy, but a man does it, and it's completely fine. It's funny. Oh, bro.
No.
So, no, right? But in a lot of contexts, this is where I feel women are challenged the most. How do we show up? Because women, I feel as well, are taught to be palatable and pleasing and approachable and warm, very like feminine qualities. You may not know what that's like growing up as a man, but it's I think the Barbie movie, if I'm honest, nailed that. Have you seen it? The Barbie?
Fortunately, no.
Okay. Well, there's a really beautiful scene.
I've seen the ads.
Okay.
Ads. Yeah. They were on some skates.
Yes.
The image. Yeah.
Right. And I think it does a pretty good job at actually kind of trying to break down these beauty standards of even what Barbie
really?
looked like. Yeah.
I thought
watched
it's
it. It's quite
opposite.
educational. No, I found that it was challenging that very core concept of who Barbie is and why she looks the way she does. So they came up with lots of different types of Barbies to try and sell to young girls that there's a lot of different ways you can look and be, and you can study to be a lawyer. You don't have just to be in the beauty industry like Barbie or whatever. But there's a really beautiful scene, one of the actresses, and she talks about, you know, you've got to be too pretty but not too pretty. You've got to be loud but not too loud. You've got to be bossy, like you've got to be assertive but not bossy. So there's all of these confusion. I don't know, we just
mixed messages
that we women have received. And so again, though, this comes back to our own sense of self-empowerment and who we are as individuals, what makes us unique and what we feel is appropriate for the moment. And that's going to be a journey of discernment and I guess just tapping into who we really are as human beings. And that's going to look different for everybody. Every woman is going to be different. And let's embrace that.
When it comes to beauty standards or beauty expectations, are we more Americanized than Europeanized?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't necessarily know how to answer that one because when I see more of the European feminine, and I feel like they embrace their femininity. I feel like in that culture, it's more traditional.
Yeah, strong mothers.
Exactly. And that's just that there's an essence. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of coming through as like this
you're almost dancing. Yeah.
I'm almost dancing. This is a dance podcast at this point. Like, this is how the energy moves, guys. Like, this is called embodiment.
Okay.
So I mean, that's how I see them, as though they're very embracing of the female form. And I feel like it's very accepted there to be embraced. I feel in Western society, it feels a little bit more like trends and like what's pretty and hot at the time, or something a bit more like trend, what's on trend.
Yeah.
So in that way, I find I would much rather the feminine essence of maybe the European style.
No, personally, I based on my limited research, apparently this beauty pageants and beauty contests and all these things is more embedded in American system from the schooling.
Interesting.
So Texas, I hear at the age of 5 and 6, they have beauty competitions for kids. And it goes all the way from there. And that's why it has become almost like a profession, becoming a beauty. And, there's context to that. But what kind of message, I don't know. But it has been commercialized, and it has been, when someone starts with a competition on beauty for a 10-year-old,
Absolutely.
then it's already on the wrong path.
Absolutely.
And the parents are preparing their kids to win it.
Yep.
And
absolutely. Yeah.
There is a documentary, I don't know the name of it, but it's pretty intense. Looking at those kids, looking at the parents, they're all like really preparing them as if they are going for a 100-meter race.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what's out there and what we do. And again, I think that there's such an education for parenting. And again, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak to that, right? Very well aware of that. It's just that I know even as a child that, when you look up to your parents, it's kind of like they're protecting you and things like that. Well, that's their role in a sense. So them becoming more conscious of their own patterns and understanding the implications of putting their child into something like that. Even gymnastics. It's like if you're going to put your child in a competitive gymnastics format, it is beautiful. We are also taught to win with beauty. We have to look perfect as a gymnast. And at all costs, and that's what wins us medals, right? And so we have to then understand that when we put a child into that, that's going to come with consequences. Because everything comes with consequences. That's just nature of life. But I feel like we can become more conscious of what that is. So if you put your child in a beauty pageant, let's make sure they're very aware that the child, that the child is the consequence, and that they're beautiful and unique. And if you don't win, it's okay. Things like messaging like that. So,
So the message based on your experience is to address or to understand these standards. It's the responsibility of the parents and also the kid to have an open conversation about fake realistic expectations to the unique beauty and the uniqueness, because there is only one individual. I think, let's say that we're close to 8.5 billion or 9 billion people on the planet. There is no two people same.
Absolutely.
We all have unique fingerprints and we all have unique eyes.
What a gift.
What a gift.
What a gift. And don't wait till a breakdown. You don't need to wait I did for an eating disorder and body dysmorphia to cripple you to the point where you pick at your skin. You don't want to look at yourself in the mirror. You think you're way bigger than you actually are.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that second.
It's all
body,
kind of tying in.
Sorry, what did you say? Eating disorder? And what's the other one?
Body dysmorphia. So it's where you look at yourself in the mirror, which is what a lot of kids would be doing, and seeing something else. So they look at themselves, they're actually thin as a kid, but they think they look fat. So it's thinking
so
they
it's
look...
in the head.
That's it. It's a mental thing. And so this ties into what I was kind of saying was we don't have to wait for a breakdown to happen in order to set our standards a little less high, bring them into realistic expectation of you're unique, you're beautiful as you are inside and out. And it doesn't mean we don't want to focus on the physical self. The physical self's very important to take care of our skin, our hair, all the things. But we don't want to overemphasize that being determining your worth. The weight on the scale doesn't determine your worth. The way you look doesn't determine your worth. That is an inner thing,
Yeah, a challenging topic.
It's very intricate. It's very nuanced. There's a lot of opinions about this. But again, we can sit here and have a conversation and it's our opinions. And no one can argue with our truth. And we're just hopefully adding to the noise, because it's noise at this point. There's so much information out there. We need to use discernment about what to take in and what to leave behind. But hopefully we're coming from an empowering place to say you're beautiful and unique as you are. Own that. Embrace that and share that light with the world.
You mentioned eating disorder.
Yes.
How did that
manifest?
Yeah. What age, when?
I was 21.
Wow.
So I look back in hindsight and understand exactly how I got there. But when you're in that moment, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and just hating what I saw. I hated what I saw in the reflection. And I was training, just doing fitness boot camp. I was working different jobs, trying to figure myself out. I was in a relationship at the time. And like I said, I woke up one day, decided I didn't like myself and went on a diet. And that was the first diet I'd ever kind of gone on at 21. And I lost 10 kilos within about 6 weeks.
When you say diet, you're still eating something?
Yeah, so my specific eating disorder was orthorexia. It's an obsession with healthy food and over-exercising. I was exercising 3 times a day and eating like broccoli, chicken and rice, and that's it.
Hey, if those people who are looking for inspiration for exercise...
Oh God, please don't take it from me.
No, don't take it from her.
No. You'll end up with a disorder. No, but I have a lot of awareness around that now, so I probably would be one of the best people to speak to and say, don't do that. I did that, doesn't work. But yeah, so I went on this diet from this nutritionist who I found out wasn't actually qualified to be a nutritionist, and she gave everyone the same generic diet plan at this fitness studio I was going to. And it just went downhill. My relationship broke up at the time at 21, and I just went downhill. I tried searching for answers, but I was in denial a lot. So my friends and family were really worried about me because all I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You went downhill.
Oh yeah. I slid downhill very quickly.
Explain your downhill.
My downhill was things like weighing lettuce for calories.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a real obsession. I was weighing myself every single day, multiple times a day.
Yeah.
I was picking at my skin. So it's this thing that happens when you have body dysmorphic tendencies, where you kind of look down at your like fat rolls. I didn't even have any.
It's all in the head.
It's all in the head. Yeah. And you're kind of just not happy with what you see. And I was wearing very loose clothing because I hated the feeling of clothing on my skin. My relationships broke down. I was only just exercising, going to work.
So really in the darkest moments.
It was one of my darkest moments.
One of your darkest moments.
Yeah, dark night of the soul.
Dark night of the soul. Okay, you're the second person who said that today in the podcast.
No way. Yes, well, it's the dark night of the soul vibes today.
Yeah.
But we break through.
Yeah, that's why we're chatting. With all this stuff, what do you think about activewear?
Oh, wow. I think
because it's also, I understand people are wearing activewear when they go for a run, when they are doing something activity, like, you know. But these days, activewear is for shopping.
It's a fashion trend.
It's a fashion trend. It's like,
it's a fashion contest at this point. A fashion contest. So you know how you were talking about the westernization of like the beauty pageants and things like that. Same with yoga. Yoga has become in the West very far away from what yoga as a practice is spiritually. And it's this fashion statement. So you go to the gym these days, you go to a Pilates studio and everyone's like competing to look the best. And they're not actually probably doing that, but they're all comparing. Like I've been in many Pilates classes where it's the most fashionable activewear you could possibly have on. And I'm like, I'm here to sweat. Like, you know, I have a very old school mindset around this because I didn't grow up with activewear being a fashion trend, you know. But I think even if you look at activewear, it's such figure-hugging, tight, restrictive
There's nothing
clothing.
left for imagination, I can tell you.
That's exactly it. It's like you're just dishing it on a plate. And look, whatever makes a woman or a man feel inspired, empowered, and beautiful, remember, right? Like, I'm not here to shame anyone, right? In what they choose to wear and how they choose to embrace their body. Personally, for me, I find the actual clothing very restrictive, and I like to be in my feminine energy, and to me that means flow. That means movement in my clothing. I don't love feeling switched on. I feel like it's a very masculine energy to be in activewear because it's very go, 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 do. I'm always going somewhere, doing something. I'm like, where's the flow? Where's the magic? Where's the intuition?
So there is a rush.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like everyone's rushing around in the
cute
little activewear.
In the rush, you miss all the beautiful moments.
You do. Yeah, and that was my journey, right?
Yeah.
Like with, you know, rushing to be the best gymnast and, you know, slaving away at that and being in activewear my whole life, little mini leotards and costumes and things like that. Yeah. It's all about the look, and we miss, being present, in the moment?
I'm just seeing too many activewears these days.
You're just blindsided by activewear at this point.
No, I can't see anything else. I can't see anything else. It's just, like you go to shopping center, there's activewears. You understand people walking. Okay, I get it. In the gym, I get it.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, it's an activewear.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no other clothes these days.
Yeah. And again, this is, I think, what's pointing to the sheep mentality. And I feel like this is going to be controversial, maybe what I'm going to say. But where's the uniqueness in this, right? Like, because we're wearing all the same things from all the same stores, even the men know about these stores. I was talking to some mates the other day and they said, do you shop at Crop Shop Boutique? And I said, are you joking? Is this the type of conversation I'm having with a guy right now?
Is it like
it's an online activewear shop.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I love the way it looks on like women's bodies. I'm like, okay, I said, no, I don't. But okay, thank you for letting me know about a new online store I didn't know about.
Wow.
But again, you look around and you go, where's the uniqueness here?
Yeah.
Where's the individuality and the expression? But where we seek at a very deep fundamental level in our brains to seek belonging.
Yeah.
And so when one person or a multitude of people wear activewear to Coles or Woolworths, you best believe most people are going to do that because it feels socially accepted. And we have a deep fear of not belonging.
So you think it's somewhere subtle or maybe full on? Insecurity somewhere, or insufficient, or ego. I want to be seen better.
I think it's a mixture of all of those. I genuinely think some people love wearing activewear and they feel comfortable and they feel empowered in it, and props to them. Beautiful. That's your expression in this world. Some, it's an ego thing. It's how can I get attention, right?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
I didn't articulate before well. We live in a world of constant validation and instant gratification. That's a reflection of social media's profiles out there. Yeah. And recently, one AI fake female attended Wimbledon with a champagne.
No way.
And got 1 million likes. And after 1 week,
that's crazy.
This guy said, this is an AI, model.
Wow.
So we live in a world where the AI, moderated or generated have more likes, more views, more followers.
Yep. Dopamine hits. Because we're so deeply insecure within ourselves and our low self-esteem and low self-worth. I believe that comes down to that need for external, like you said, validation and acceptance and approval from others. Again, I think it comes down to that sense of belonging. Yeah. We want to seek to be understood and felt and heard and seen. So if we do what other people are doing, we're going to feel that. But the problem is we feel it for one moment and then it comes crashing down. So we go, right, we need to do the next Instagram post. Yeah. And it's just this constant, we're in survival. Yeah. Notice how I'm even speaking to that. I have shortness of breath because I'm stressed even speaking about it. Everyone's living in that, or a lot of people, are living in that state of survival and stress every day. Am I enough? Am I worthy? Am I beautiful? Am I liked? Even dating apps these days, oh my God. It's just constant, likes and do they like me and swiping and everyone feels indisposable. I think a lot of people, I can't say everyone, a lot of people feel indisposable at this point because it's just reliant upon images that aren't true. They aren't a reflection of the totality of who we are as human beings. So an Instagram post will show one part of our beingness. And usually it's the perfected version of us. You've taken 20 selfies, which one looks the best? Yeah. But they don't see how long it took to get there. They don't see the preparation for that selfie. They don't see anything else behind the scenes. Yeah. So I think what authenticity is these days is infectious, like showing up authentically. But I think we have a long way to go because authenticity requires high levels of self-worth and self-esteem. And to accept our individuality, to embrace our uniqueness, both good and bad. The good parts and the bad.
Could you please say that slowly?
Oh my God, sorry. Okay. I speak fast sometimes, don't I?
Yeah, especially something beautiful comes out. I'm going to pause.
You want to soak up the moment.
Authenticity comes from
self-worth, high self-esteem.
High self-esteem, yeah.
What else did I say? Yeah, it does. And I feel like so many of us are disconnected from that. We don't feel good about ourselves. We don't feel worthy. We don't feel enough as we are. And that's a big part of my messaging and the work that I do in the world, because it's been my journey.
Yeah.
You know, the reason, a big part of that ED story and body dysmorphia story of mine, and I call it a story now because I don't identify with having one anymore. That's a conversation maybe for a bit later, but I had to learn my self-worth isn't dependent on the weight on the scales and things like that. And I had to come into my own peace in my body and my own uniqueness for that to be, you know, what's authenticity to me? How do I want to express myself in the world? So then if I put a post up on Instagram, even if it does or doesn't get likes, it does not determine how I feel about myself. Yeah. So much of us are giving power to people we don't even know. Yeah. To trolls on the internet. There could be someone that comments on this YouTube video, says, Alicia, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's just say.
No, we already have plenty.
Oh, you've already had troll. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thanks for taking time to, you know, put a comment. No one cares.
No one cares. That's it. Right. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
And it's just a reflection of where they're at in their journey. So we have compassion, but we also go, really? You know, but if I get that comment, if we get that comment, I know at the end of the day, I know who I am. Yeah. And I know what's real for me. And I know that I'm doing the best I can. I'm a human being with faults and flaws. And I've made mistakes and I've had messes and I've screwed up. But I'm still here. I can own it.
What's the biggest screw up you did?
The biggest screw up I did. Mine has been more relationally based.
Okay.
My biggest screw ups is not trusting myself.
Okay. And after that downhill, that's when you ended up exploring psychic path?
So that journey was interesting because we seek out traditional psychology a lot, right? In the West, it's kind of the go-to is go see a psychologist.
Yes.
And I'm like, so I was in denial for a lot, but it got to a stage where I probably would have been hospitalized at that point from being so low in weight and low in body fat percentage. So I finally saw one. And in that first psychology session, I said, I will not be diagnosed with anything. You will not write my story for me. Yeah. I'm going to heal and change from this. Okay. And I'm going to teach people how to do the same thing. That was in my first psychology session.
He or she?
She.
How did she feel?
My psychologist?
Yeah.
She was blown away.
Yeah.
She was like, I've never met someone so positive and optimistic. Yeah. That comes very natural for me just as a person.
She would have whispered, if everyone goes in your path, we don't have any jobs.
We're out of work. We just bounce in and bounce out. Like Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Okay. We get once an odd one. Yeah. You're the one.
You're the one. Get out.
Before we change your mind.
Shoo.
Yeah.
So that was quite funny, and I actually ended up studying or restudying fitness. So immediately after that, I went and studied. That first session, I went home and signed up to become a fitness instructor. So I was a girl who just been...
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
One second.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
Are we talking physical instructor?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. PT?
Yep, personal trainer. I've lived a lot of lives. Loki, do you have 5 hours today available for us? No, I'm joking.
I think I've been given a time frame for how long this memory stick is available today.
Totally fair enough. Okay, we need to get to the point.
So now you're a personal trainer.
Yeah, so I used immediately from that session, I was like, I want to help people. I've just always had a natural thing that I've always taught what I've learned. And so I did that. But then after a while, fast forward, traditional therapy didn't work for me. Yeah. And what I mean by that is it felt like it was reinforcing the trauma or reinforcing the identity and the belief that I had a disorder. Okay. To me, that felt limiting. Mm-hmm. To me, that felt like someone was stripping my power away because I had this, my soul knew something was up here. Yeah. And one day I got invited to a spiritual healing event, but I was there to support a friend. I went to the event. Mm-hmm. It was the night that changed my life. And what I mean by that is it saved my life. Someone stood up on stage. She was a spiritual and holistic healer, and she said, I healed from an eating disorder. And in that moment, I knew she was going to be my coach.
Sorry, she heals or she healed herself?
She healed herself.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she helps others.
So you found your mother, spiritual mother.
I found my spiritual mother. Her name was Gracie.
Okay.
And I owe her what feels like my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
So at that time, I'd become a personal trainer, started my business. So that was happening in the background.
Okay, that night, could you tell me a little bit more about that night?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what, she's on a stage?
Yep.
Or
it was a self-love event. Yeah.
Okay, what is self-love event?
A self-love spiritual healing
Nothing
event.
dodgy, huh?
Nothing dodgy.
Okay.
No, it's like what we're doing right now, but on stage.
Okay. So there's a reason why I say this, because there's a thin line between spirituality and sexuality. Mm-hmm. People are using spirituality to get sexual needs. Or, anyway, there's different things going on.
There's a lot of things going on in that realm. Yeah.
All these things start with self.
Yes. Yeah.
Self-love, self-healing, self-this, self-that.
Yeah.
That's the reason. So it's a little
self-love, spiritual healing.
Healing session. How many people were there?
It was an event with about 100 people.
Wow, that's big.
Big event. And there was about 5 or 6 female speakers at this event, sharing their breakthroughs in non-traditional alternative
You're part
ways.
of the audience at that time.
At this time,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my mum went with me.
Okay.
Which was beautiful. And we both looked at each other going, this is I found my way to healing. Okay. And her biggest piece of advice that she stood on stage saying was that you're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Yeah.
And in that statement alone, my soul just resonated and something clicked. And I was like, I am not this disorder. I am, right?
Is it in the evening?
In the evening.
In the evening.
Yeah.
What do you think is that moment where you say something clicked? What is it? If you look back now.
If I look back now, it was like this moment of resonance and shared story, human story.
Yeah.
I saw someone else heal and it gave me permission to heal in that moment. I almost felt healed in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost felt like I healed in that moment.
Right. Okay.
Because she said that she didn't, she released the label of a diagnosis and that's what freed her.
What you deep inside believed, she was the evidence.
That's exactly it. My soul knew something was up, right?
Yeah, but you knew it. Yeah.
I knew it somewhere. And it was the external manifestation of someone standing on stage going, this is possible.
Yeah.
And that meant it's possible for me too. Because I always knew I wasn't going to be stuck with this thing.
Okay, what happened next?
I went up to her after the event and hired her as my coach immediately.
What was your conversation with her?
It was, my mum was crying and so was I think. And it was just a thank you for sharing her story.
Yeah.
Because it gave me hope. And I don't think that I'd had hope in a long time because the traditional Western system, I don't feel addresses the root cause of our issues. I feel like we operate in symptom management. Yeah. So we look at the food you're eating and how much you're exercising, but we don't ask, why are we restricting? What are the deeper reasons as to the manifestation of the eating disorder itself?
Yeah.
And she stood on stage and was like, there's so many layers to how we get to who we are. And it just felt like full permission to embrace an alternative path.
Why were you crying?
Just now?
At that time.
Oh, I felt tears in my eyes just now.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Because alternative healing has been made to be something like a gimmick. And what I mean by that is, again, we are programmed to seek traditional therapy, talk therapy. And there has to be people like me out there, and I know there is because I've coached them myself, where they feel stuck inside an identity of anxiety, depression, eating disorders, body dysmorphia. Again, I'm not here to tell you, diagnose, misdiagnose, nothing. Seek a medical professional. But I'm sharing my experience, and in that, there is not enough people standing in their uniqueness and their authenticity saying, I healed in a different way. And you may see it as woo-woo, crazy, wacko. I see it as wisdom that has been around for thousands of centuries, long before science even became a thing, long before talk therapy was even a thing. So to me, I got emotional in that moment because I just wished that this was available, and I still do, that it's available for more people. And I believe that's my mission on this planet, is to put the word out there that there's not just one way to heal.
And you said your mom was also crying.
Yeah.
Because looking at you?
I'd say so. I was dwindling away.
Yeah.
I was tiny. I'm tiny as a human in general.
Yeah.
You know, like ex-gymnast, small, petite thing. But imagine me even smaller.
Yeah.
10 kilos smaller than this. Yeah.
So she found some sort of a relief.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing you or feeling from you that something's happening there.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Because she'd always loved psychics, and this was, you know, spiritual event too.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
We'd gone to psychics as a kid.
Yeah.
That's how this story kind of comes into play. So, but I never saw spirituality as a way of healing though, or psychic work as a way of healing, right?
Yeah.
And again, that's why I think it's so important. Yeah.
So that's your real turning point of taking a journey of psychic. Is that right?
Yeah, my psychic abilities.
But healing yourself.
Healing myself came first. Yeah, so as I started to work with Grace, we started uncovering trauma and all the things, and we started going deep into the subconscious mind, and we started unraveling all these stories about who I thought I was. And we started revealing the truth of what actually is real, which is spiritual being having a human experience. And so I was finally free. Within like 6 weeks of working with her, I felt free. I'm not joking.
6 weeks, okay.
That's the type of liberation that happens with my clients too, because you free yourself of the belief that you're not your body, you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotion, you are a limitless, boundless, expansive being with so much purpose on this planet, more than what you look like, more than what you feel, more than what this brain comes up with noise-wise.
Yeah.
And there was so much liberation and freedom in that. So I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't identify with having one of these disorders anymore. And it's not to invalidate those that feel that helps them.
Yeah.
But it limited me, and this liberated me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take you out of this solar system.
Please do. Let's go.
We put you in a spaceship. Okay, and you're not going to come back for another 15, 20, 30 years.
Fantastic.
And now, Grace can hear your message. What message would you give her?
What message would I give my coach, Grace? That by her having the courage to share her journey and share her story, and the unique way that she healed, and having full conviction in that story, saved my life. And I will be genuinely, eternally grateful for her always.
Nice.
Grace follows me everywhere I go, and I mean the word grace in general, just graciousness, living
beautiful.
in grace. And I feel that that's linked to her for sure.
Yeah, grace, elegant, they all go
hand in hand.
Yeah. And what message would you give to your mom?
I feel that I would apologize for letting it get that far. Not that I knew how to get myself out of it, but I can't imagine the pain of a parent witnessing a child going through that and feeling helpless.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having a child, and because this person, you as an individual, anybody has to get to their own point of healing.
Thank you for listening, Chat with Loki. Follow and subscribe for more wisdom from everyday heroes.